chapter 22, and we're going to start at verse 7. This is when, before the meal, Jesus told Peter and John to go prepare the meal, and they were servers for Jesus, and they did. So, verse 7, it starts off, "Then the day of unleavened bread came. That was the time the Passover lamb had to be sacrificed. Jesus sent Peter and John on ahead. 'Go,' he told them. 'Prepare us to eat the Passover meal.' 'Where do you want us to prepare for it?' they asked. Jesus replied, 'When you enter the city, a man carrying a jar of water will meet you. Follow him to the house he enters, then say to the owner of the house, "The teacher asks, 'Where's the guest room? Where can I eat the Passover meal with my disciples?' He will show you a large upstairs room with furniture already in it. Prepare for us the meal there." Peter and John left. They found things just as Jesus told them, so they prepared the Passover meal. So right there, Peter and John were servers for Jesus. They went out and did as Jesus said. They listened and followed directions and found all the items for the meal and went and prepared for it so all his friends could eat together before he died on the cross. When the hour came, this is in verse 14, when the hour came, Jesus and his apostles took their places at the table. He said to them, "I have really looked forward to eating with you this Passover meal. I wanted to do this before I suffer." So this was the meal before Jesus died on the cross. "I tell you, I will not eat the Passover meal again until it is celebrated in God's kingdom." Okay. So Jesus is sitting at the table with his friends, and then he is about to serve them their last meal, or his last meal. In verse 19, it says, "Then Jesus took the bread, he gave thanks and broke it. He handed it to them and said, 'This is my body, it is given for you. Every time of you eat it, do this in memory of me.' Think of me every time of you eat it, and do this in memory of me." In the same way, after the supper, he took the cup. "This cup is the new covenant in my blood. It is poured out for you." So here, Jesus served his bread and wine in remembrance of him before he died on the cross. So I'm going to hand the Bible to Amelia, and we're going to skip to John, chapter 13, verse 1 and 4. Here, Jesus is a server to his disciples, and he washes their feet before the Passover meal, right before they had the Last Supper. So I'm going to let her read this.
"So he got up from the meal and took off his... It was just before... Please,
No, it's okay. Just start it.
It was just before the Passover feast. Jesus knew that the time had come for him to leave this world. It was time for him to go to the Father. Jesus loved his disciples who were in the world, so he now loved them to the very end. So he got up from the meal and took off his outer clothes. He wrapped a towel around his waist. After that, he poured water to a large bowl. Then he began to wash his disciples' feet. He dried them with a towel that was wrapped around him. You don't realize now what I am doing, but later you will understand."
Okay, so in this instance, Jesus served his disciples. He washed their feet, which is typically what the disciples would probably do for Jesus. It shows us that we all are servers, and we all can be servers like he was. So this week, Amelia and I challenge you to be a server around your house. You don't have to prepare a big meal and sit with your family, even though that is nice. We just ask you to help your family out, whether it's your mom or your dad, or maybe you pray over the meal, or just be kind to someone. So be a server like Jesus and his disciples, and listen very carefully to directions, because what comes out of that is very good. So have a good week, guys.